Welcome to Urinary Lake. A little fun fact here about Urinary Lake was that it was originally called Beaver Lake. That's because when the first man discovered it, the first animal he saw was a beaver. And so yeah, but he was an anatomical scientist, and he thought a better fitting name would be the Urinary Lake, because he thought the whole lake kind of represented the urinary system as a whole. The first stop on our journey today is Nephron Dam, which is straight out that way. We're heading there first because Nephron Dam is where the beavers live. He likes to call the beavers nephrons, which he thought they contribute kind of the lake as a whole, the same way nephrons contribute to the urinary system as a whole. He said that the beavers reminded him of nephrons because the beavers have the same basic functions. The beavers filter out the things the lake doesn't need, like sticks and stuff that they make for their dam. And when the lake does need stuff, they put it back in, like selectively reabsorption, the same as nephrons. And the stuff that they do take out goes to the bladder, which is basically the same as a dam, which we call Nephron Dam. So, as we're getting closer, I'll just give you a little brief description on the difference between filtration and selectively reabsorption. Filtration is taking out the things the body doesn't need, and selectively reabsorbing things is putting things back into the blood that the body does need, which is kind of the same thing that beavers do. Oh, better watch out. So Nephron Dam here is structurally very much like a nephron. It has a mesh-like basement membrane, like the leaves here, that in a nephron would filter out the blood, but here it filters out the water, and it removes up to 70% of solutes in water. Bowman's capsule, which is represented by the stagnant water around here, surround glomeri, which are bundles of capillaries, which are represented in this frame by the tufts of grass, which you can see here. The skin is kind of like the surface of the water, and the skin rids the body of toxins through sweat and whatnot, where here in the lake, toxins such as garbage and whatnot rise to the top of the water to the surface of the skin, where it can be removed by people like us. So here the lungs are pretty comparable to the sun, which obviously you can't see right now, it's kind of cloudy out. But anyways, the lungs rid the body of gaseous waste and whatnot, where the sun evaporates unnecessary or wasteful water from the lake. The fish represent the liver. The liver detoxifies the body, and the fish do the same thing. They get rid of the bugs and whatnot, which are basically toxins. So this here is the kidney of Urinary Lake. Obviously it's not the same as in humans, because in humans it's bean-shaped, and there's also two, and the left one's slightly larger. But function-wise, it basically does the same thing. So the functions that it has basically exactly the same as the kidney is it regulates the water pressure. Actually, in the kidneys it would be blood pressure. It regulates the water balance. It gets rid of wastes, and two that are slightly different is it gets rid of the acids. I would hope there's no acids, but it gets rid of stuff. And the last one regulates the red blood cells, but obviously there's not too many red blood cells here, so we'll just consider them fish, and it regulates the amount how much fish can be in there. So our model here isn't completely perfect. What would actually happen in the human body is blood would be pumped down to the kidneys from the aorta down to the renal artery, and then it would go into the concave side, the renal hilus, and then it would leave the kidney, or after being filtered, to the renal vein. Each apex of the renal pyramid is connected to a minor calyx, which is a collecting tube for urine. The waste that is filtered out of blood is created into urine, which then enters the ureter, which leads out into the urethra, which we have here, carrying it out, and that's how it's excreted out of the body. The hormones which control this whole process are created by the adrenal glands, which are located on top of the kidney. Their functions are to control the body's glucose content and also to conserve sodium. Here. Glomeri. Nice?
Glomeri! They're called glomeri!
Glommer! Body of gaseous wastes, and the sun enough like a nephron has a what's the word?
There's like basement membrane.
This is what Noel just stepped in, but about 100 times worse.